assignment tonight. Kansas and North Carolina, and here we go. Chalmers grabs it for the Jayhawks.
Good steal of the tap by Arthur, beating Hansbrough to the ball.
And it's Arthur over Hansbrough for the opening two.
Really critical for Arthur to get going offensively to force Hansbrough to work. Hansbrough is not a shot blocker, so you can go ahead and put your low post shots up.
This game, Billy, expected at breakneck speed, right?
I would imagine that. I'd be surprised this game's played under 80.
Ellington stopped for a minute. Here's Deon Thompson.
Good quick defense, good stepping out.
Lawson hands it over to Hansbrough. Spins on Arthur, puts up the shot and matches Arthur's basket at the other end.
You know, that is really not even a shot. It's a throw, and yet it's so soft. It's amazing how he does that.
It's like with his strength, his body, it's like he's able to create some sort of separation to get a shot that looks like it could be easily blocked, but he's pushed the defender away. This time over the top. They go right over Hansbrough for the basket.
Really like what Bill Self is doing. He's saying Hansbrough's a guy that puts up a lot of points offensively. Let's make him work on the defensive end of the floor. He's getting no help in the low post.
And it's Jackson who just converted at the other end, coming up with the ball at this end.
A change defensive assignment. Hansbrough goes out on Jackson. Puts Thompson down inside on Arthur.
Robinson's got a wide open three and knocks it down.
Really a key for Kansas to shoot well from the perimeter. When they do, they are so tough.
North Carolina already with its largest deficit of the tournament. They've run right through everyone by the widest margin on any run in its storied history to the Final Four. Lawson on the baseline, trying to wiggle free, and that is shut off.
Rush getting out on the break nicely.
Ginyard trying to draw the charge, no call. Rush jumper over everything. Ellington coming out with it for the Tar Heels.
He'd have been better to rotate that ball back outside.
Pull up shot, Ellington knocks it in for a two, not a three.
But Jim, you're ever going to see Ellington has size on Chalmers, and we've seen this in the tournament. Bigger guards shooting over smaller guards, even those that play pretty good defense. Saw that in the first game with Collison.
Over the top again. Arthur snags it, knocks it down.
Big to big. Really nice strategy by Bill Self. He's making the North Carolina big men have to guard somebody, and they're getting no help.
And good, quick passing. Hansbrough driving on Jackson. He banks it home.
Did I say the game would be in the 80s, Jim? I may change that to the 90s.
Underestimated this, my friend. Might be there by halftime the way they're going.
Like the way Kansas has this floor spread, really utilizing their big men with a lot of space inside.
Arthur fade away, rolls off the rim, saved by Ellington to Hansbrough.
North Carolina does not look as quick to me as they did, Jim, when we saw them in Raleigh. They exploded there, and here their legs look a little heavy to me early.
Thompson and the steal. Robinson nearly able to make the theft. Thompson didn't see him coming in on him. Now it's Lawson. Tipped over the Rush. He's got Chalmers ahead.
Why he didn't pass it earlier?
Chalmers could have given it back to Rush, too. Going to be on Ginyard.
Now, what's going to happen right there if you're going to see Lawson penetrating to the inside because Chalmers, Rush, and Robinson are outside. No defensive balance for North Carolina. Kind of an easy break.
Well, you saw the Tar Heels the first two rounds of the tournament up in Raleigh coming off their ACC tournament win. And you just marveled at their quickness, their legs. But you look at Kansas right now, this looks like what we saw out of North Carolina and Raleigh, the way Kansas is jumping around this floor.
Absolutely. They seem to be much quicker on the floor. North Carolina goes to their bench early, and Kansas will do that likewise, coming in with an explosive Collins, so they'll get even quicker.
Sasha Khan comes in for Kansas, and it's Stevenson and Green for the Tar Heels.
And Jim, let's put something in perspective. The last game Kansas played was Davidson, right down to the wire. The first game North Carolina played this year was Davidson, right down to the wire. They beat them 72-68. So this Davidson club from the beginning to the end was a factor.
Chalmers unable to hit the free throws.
Now it's going to be Collins on Lawson, even though the Kansas switches.
Davidson played every team here at the Final Four at some point during the season except Memphis. They had UCLA on the ropes early too. Hansbrough, that one's Arthur says not a chance. Rush up ahead, plays it in.
Second time in this ball game that a good double down from the weak side has paid off for Kansas.
Green is knocked to the floor. No call, and it's last touch by Green.
No question about it. Early on in this ball game, Kansas much quicker. Hansbrough doesn't see the weak side help coming. Kansas off to the races with excellent fast-breaking basketball.
Quentin Thomas, the holdover from its championship team, now defending here on Collins. Again, they go up over the top. Great catch by Kahn, unable to make the short shot.
North Carolina has numbers.
That ball, last touch by Kansas. It'll belong to Carolina out of the break. The full fury of Kansas unleashed here at the start. 11-6 lead at the first break. Carolina to inbound, down 11-6 here early. And that's a reach-in call on Sasha Kahn.
Not the kind of foul you want to commit when things are going your way and you're Kansas. Jim, isn't it interesting? Kansas is a team. Not one Kansas player was selected by the media for all-conference Big 12. 4 guys got votes, but nobody made first team the media. Now, 2 guys did it in the coaches, but shows you the balance on this team probably hurt itself for postseason accolades.
Boy, they do share the glory, though.
Yes, they do.
You don't get a guy with a breakout scoring game. Stevenson had a good chance to score inside, but took his eye off of it.
Does not have the best of hands. Green has to recognize that.
Collins, their super sub.
A tough assignment for Thomas. They're going right over the top with their big men. Better adjustment by North Carolina that time. Stevenson helping out.
Still, Arthur had a good chance to make the play on that one. They dropped it in over Hansbrough, but goes out of bounds.
Lawson out, getting the break early.
Danny Green's
got the jump shot opportunity. Doesn't take it.
Everybody left him. Now he'll take it. Here's the 3 for Green.
Very important that he gets off early. Chalmers with a good rebound and a push here. North Carolina will not be able to take any breaks because Kansas likes to push the ball up the court as well as they do.
Now Rush, back out high Chalmers. We can beat you so many ways. To Arthur with Stevenson trying to defend. Arthur, all net.
Second beautiful turnaround jump shot by Arthur. Nice follow through.
Now Hansbrough driving and drawing that one on Kahn. So Kahn with 2 quick ones. Inside, though, they've been getting some action, the Jayhawks.
They really have. They've gone down and low, and I think it's an excellent maneuver to make Hansbrough play defensive so that he has to work on both ends of the floor. They've been throwing the ball right over the top nicely. Jim, one of the things about Kansas, too, they can rotate their big men pretty well. Kahn got 2, that one cheap foul on the reach hurt him, but they can come in with Cole Aldridge as well. So they've got 4 men to rotate. He'll be coming in right now. So foul trouble really not part of Bill Self's problem.
So Cole Aldridge, the freshman out of Minnesota. Jackson returns. Robinson returns.
Right, the one guy you don't want in foul trouble is Arthur. He's fouled out 4 times this year. And you want him on the floor because of his offensive prowess. Hansbrough, more attempts and more makes than any player in Atlantic Coast Conference history from the foul line in 3 years.
He's going to get a breather here with Deon Thompson coming back. He broke Christian Laettner's free throw marks, attempts, and makes.
Who played 4 years of college basketball. Big screen by Jackson out front.
Aldridge. Collins so quick, gets by everyone.
Collins is quick. He's got that big upper body. Loves to penetrate. The young man had obviously problems this year physically. It took him a long time to get back, but he's another one of those guys who can come off the bench and be a star in a ball game. As is Green, who's back in for North Carolina.
Kansas has 5 baskets, made baskets in the paint, leading at 15-8.
Roy Williams really going to this bench early. Lawson going to be coming back in. Not a lot of scoring on the floor right now for North Carolina. There's a walk.
Green saw Rush crashing in on him. Tune in to NCAA March Madness Central, powered by the first ever Pontiac G8, for complete coverage from the Final Four. Check it out tomorrow night on the CBS College Sports Network.
Then we talked about these great programs North Carolina 6-2 all time against Kansas. 3 of those games in the Final Four. There's another lob, but not read very well by Rush.
It's Thompson.
Nice soft touch.
Yep. He's starting to come on during this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, he really had a tough ACC tournament, then came on strong. Another good drive. North Carolina not squaring up against these guards early on outside.
So Thompson makes the hoop, but at the other end commits the foul. That'll send Russell Robinson to the line.
You know, it's funny, when you think back to history, there's so much connection between North Carolina and Kansas. Roy Williams, 2 of those 3 Final Four matchups had Roy Williams coaching at Kansas. The one where he defeated a Dean Smith team.
91.
Right, and then got beat by North Carolina's rivalry Duke. And then, of course, in 93, when Dean Smith won the championship with his outstanding team, they got beat in the semifinals by that club.
3 times in the past, the 57 epic battles, the triple overtime Carolina win, the other one. So they meet for the 4th time in the NCAA Final Four.
Hansbrough getting a pretty long rest here in the first half with his team down.
Hansbrough now back off the bench and checking in.
Lawson hadn't been able to turn the corner on Collins or Robinson so far.
Stevenson pinned, spins around, pivots pass, but it's blocked.
Who gets the loose ball? Kansas.
Collins goes underneath. Aldridge on the follow.
Right now, North Carolina, compared to what we've seen in the NCAA tournament, Jim, and Lawson takes a shot in the eye, they are really out of sync in regard to the team they have on the floor. Good drive to the inside. Nobody blocked it out. Aldridge comes down and puts it away.
Jackson commits the foul at the other end. Watch the freshman and Jackson both going in. Aldridge who got the hand on it.
So Stevens late getting there. Hansbrough back into the ball game, has not been able to get off track. Nice lob.
But it's blocked. It's kicked out by Arthur. Sent away.
Jim, I talked about the quick legs. It seems like Kansas getting every single loose ball.
Bouncing it in to Aldridge. 1 pass too many. Trying to work it back over to Arthur, and Carolina takes it away. Kansas has not trailed in this game. They've got their biggest lead here at 9.
See Ellington coming back in the ball game. Roy Williams looks like he's wanting to get that starting lineup back on the floor.
Robinson commits his first. So after all the rotation, Carolina back out there with its first 5.
Getting no free looks from the outside at all. North Carolina, another good quick.
Chalmers wasn't looking, but they still have it. There's another quick move by Collins.
Isn't it amazing, Jim, what quick legs will do? Kansas get all the loose balls.
Another one. That's Chalmers. Banks it in.
Roy Williams doesn't want to call a timeout. He wants his team to push it up the floor, but they're pushing up the floor against somebody that's quicker.
Next whistle will bring the automatic free timeout. All 5 Kansas starters have scored. They're on an 8-0 run, and they're looking for another theft. Ellington bounced it over to Lawson. That was some heads-up play.
Terrific defense so far by Kansas.
And again, that one's kicked. It'll be Carolina ball out of the break. So
just been tremendous defense by Kansas. They're number 1 in their conference, number 3 nationally in regard to percentage defense, and they are showing why tonight. Here comes another double team on Hansbrough.
Hansbrough puts up the shot. Ginyard comes flying in.
Loose ball.
It's Robinson and Kansas. Other side of the court, Rush. They're just flying up and down the floor. A 10-0 run by the Jayhawks.
North Carolina can't get any semblance of half-court offense going.
Ellington speeds past Rush. And that's a charge. Everything going Kansas's way.
As fine a weak side defense as you'll see played in college basketball is what we're seeing from Bill Self's team. Roy Williams can't believe it. This is not a North Carolina team he has seen play in months.
A North Carolina team that's won its last 15 games, went 36-2 on the year.
Well, they started 18-0 on the year. Kansas started 20-0.
Up 15, looking for more.
Nice screen.
Rush with the three. Can you believe it? What a performance.
Beautiful screen that time by Jackson to set up Rush's shot. Another loose ball.
Again, Kansas has it. They tie it up by the time they get there, and it stays the arrow with North Carolina.
Roy Williams looking at the club he used to coach, playing a magnificent first half. Getting every single loose ball. North Carolina has not had an opportunity to get anything going in their half-court set. This is some performance.
4 baskets, 7 turnovers.
You know, sometimes when you've been winning big, Jim, you lose sight of how to play the game when you get to some adversity. North Carolina right now, and there was another example, taking a bad shot, not getting anything working.
Well, they had a chance. They say it was touched last by North Carolina.
Again, you've got a piece of it.
He's not arguing the call. North Carolina played on this floor at the Alamo Dome in the '98 Final Four and fell to Utah in the national semifinal right in this spot.
Bill Self worked so hard to get to a Final Four, and it was a trouble, but this has been no trouble for him. This is one of the most devastating performances I've seen by 2 teams that were fairly evenly matched.
Billy, can you believe Carolina's down 21? They've given up 16 unanswered.
Almost lost another one.
There's a reach-in call on Kansas.
North Carolina right now, Jim, feels like they're playing against 7 defensive men. That's how quick Kansas has been in this first half.
That was on Chalmers. Today's your last chance to vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the tournament at Pontiac.com/NCAA. A $100,000 scholarship is on the line.
And Jim, if you're North Carolina right now, you don't want to start kicking back into this lead and think you got to bring it back all at one time. They've got to figure out how to get in their normal half-court sets.
There's a foul in midair.
And if you're Kansas, you don't want to be that aggressive. North Carolina's causing their own problems.
That is on Jackson, his second. And they instantly bring in Aldridge. Jackson to the bench with the 2. Cole Aldridge, a 6'11" freshman from Bloomington, Minnesota. Last year's Mr. Basketball in that state. Ellington open 3.
Had to alter the shot on that jump shot. Again, trying to come back too quickly.
Collins almost dragged the foot.
Good post up.
Arthur over Green, big advantage. Aldridge fighting for it. Out battles Hansbrough and draws the foul. Wow.
Jim, is there any phase of this game in which Kansas, forget about being better, isn't dominant? There's Aldridge going over Hansbrough. How often have you seen Hansbrough been out-battled for a rebound inside? Danny Green comes over, not much he could do other than commit the foul.
So Aldridge already with a tip-in basket to shoot 2. Give the freshman now 3 points on the night.
Young man, McDonald's All-American. Big things expected of him. He's really lost a lot of weight. You can see Roy Williams trying to do anything he can, settle Ellington down. But I think he may have to stay with that starting lineup so that they can get into some kind of flow.
Brings in Will Graves for the first time.
And Graves is a shooter. Somebody in the lane too soon.
He's going to get one more chance. North Carolina in early.
This is a nightmare for Roy Williams, who has now elevated himself in winning percentage, number 3 all time, behind the likes of some of the greatest coaches that have ever been in the game. But tonight he is looking at a nightmare.
That lane violation cost him a point. Quentin Thomas back out. Green to the bench. Can you believe this now? 18-0 run. 8 consecutive empty trips down the floor for North Carolina. Will it end here?
You have the freshman on Hansbrough. See if they can get him the ball in the low post by calming down a little bit.
Graves trying to come in and deliver off the rim. Again, Aldridge giving them a spark off the bench. Everybody for Kansas playing well.
But if you're North Carolina, you don't want to bring Graves into the game and then all of a sudden he's going to try to play one-on-one, and there's Hansbrough picking up the cheap foul.
Aldridge.
Yep.
And Hansbrough able to force it and act it out.
And that's just a freshman learning what he can and cannot do. Hansborough, seasoned veteran, picking up a cheap one. North Carolina really with not much of shooting power out on the wings right now.
North Carolina scoreless for the last 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
How about the overplays by Kansas?
Every shot, every pass contested.
Yep.
Lawson. Hansborough.
Nothing easy.
Blocked, but a hack. And it's on Chalmers, his second.
And how about the way they're distributing some of these fouls around, Jim, and the fact that they've got 4 big men to play with 20 fouls out there, but here the guards even helping out inside.
Hansborough already been at the line tonight and hit a couple, now adds a third. That breaks the 18-0 run with that free throw.
That Eastern Regional Most Valuable Player. The Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year. You'd have to probably say consensus National Player of the Year, but he's looking at a swarming defense on him here tonight.
Got so many different National Player of the Year awards out there. He's already collected 7 pieces of hardware, and I know there's more on the way. Hansborough with 8 of the 12 points for the Tar Heels.
Pretty nice defense by Lawson. Doesn't let Collins turn the corner.
Robinson with the 3. Tipped up by Aldridge.
Oh, he is so active in there.
Wow. Basket. Taken away.
Well, worth the gamble, though, if you're Collins. He's got a lot of strength. He goes inside. No question, body contact there. They're waiting on him. Here's Graves, a man that likes to shoot from outside, but he's come in the game. Tried 3 individual plays, so you're trying to come back with guys off the bench. Probably not good strategy for North Carolina.
They've missed their last 8 shots. Under 8 to go in the first half. Total domination so far. Arthur, too strong, but a follow-up by Rush.
Jim, the national championship on the college level is not the best of 3 series. It's one and done, and North Carolina right now is facing that early in this ball game.
Rush way outside 3. Of course. Of course.
This game is over.
Absolutely shell-shocked, everybody in the North Carolina family.
Absolutely. As I said, Roy Williams now number 3 in all-time winning percentage behind Claire B. and Adolph Rupp. He's passed John Wooden. He's won a game in 19 straight NCAA tournaments like no coach has ever done before, but he's got a team right now totally out of sync.
Arthur got poked in the eye.
And all of his players, Jim, are trying to bring it back with 1 shot.
Jim Nance and Billy Packer here in San Antonio, and Kansas pouring it on here. The biggest deficit, Billy, ever in a Final Four game. We did it.
We remember that game, and all of a sudden Shane Battier and his ball club stuck together and played solid and brought that ball game back. What I see in North Carolina, guys trying to do it one-on-one with jump shots, that's not the answer.
Arthur got poked in the eyes, still on the floor, out of the break. Aldridge turnaround jumper, and it falls.
And again, great strategy by Bill Self, making Hansborough play defense. He is not a shot blocker, and so consequently, the big men are just going right at him and taking their normal shot.
This high-scoring Carolina team without a basket. 7 minutes, and Aldridge says, get that out of here. Dana Green's going to come back out for North Carolina, in for Copeland.
Jim, how about this weak side defensive help by Kansas all night? And what makes that is that the North Carolina players are trying to do everything with one-on-one activity.
Made only 4 out of 19 from the field. That was touched by Kansas. 17 on the shot clock.
Well, I said something had to give. Kansas holding teams to 37% field goal shooting percentage. And they're certainly doing that to North Carolina now.
That pass almost got away. Ellington trying to create. Slips. Aldridge with it.
Weak side help. Much quicker.
Loose ball to the Jayhawks again. Rush, what a pass. Charge, though. Hansborough for the 2nd time in this half draws the charge.
And, Jim, there's something that players have not recognized. Hansbrough is not a shot blocker. So when you drive down, look to take your shot. Don't look to go ahead and penetrate any further. He is going to play for position and not try to block the shots.
Ginyard, he'll try one from top of the key. No.
Again, one-on-one basketball.
8 minutes without a field goal for North Carolina.
A team that looked like they could not be stopped offensively in this tournament previously.
Arthur got it over to Aldridge, and the short shot, he was a little off balance.
Would you say the freshman McDonald's All-Americans having a pretty good first half?
You know, when we saw him a few weeks ago in College Station against Texas A&M, just in practice, you could see the future of Kansas basketball.
Oh, absolutely. Legitimate 6'11", long arms, and he's got himself in great shape. And there,
look at that. Danny Green had it, and Arthur just came right over. Beat him to the spot. Kansas this time, though, turns it over.
One of the first times today that Kansas not able to execute on the break. But it was so obvious in the first couple of minutes of this game how much quicker Kansas was. They're getting every loose ball. Their game plan was great to go right at Hansbrough on the defensive end of the floor.
North Carolina stuck at 12. 13,
there's
make it
help
14 consecutive empty trips. Collins. Robinson almost got up to keep it for Kansas. Lawson, he'll drive in. Is this a charge? No, it's going to go against Kansas.
And Jim, you might run out of energy. Here we see Brandon Rush, who has made the open shots. There was the great solid screen to get the ball cross court. Goes up on the boards. Much as we saw in the first game by the Memphis team, he's one of those guys. It's a tough matchup. Long, 6'5", 6'6".
He's got as many points as the North Carolina team, hitting 5 out of 6 from the field. Now Lawson to shoot 2.
And you can see North Carolina out of sync. Lawson came into this game, Jim, in 8 NCAA tournament career games, 45 assists and only 15 turnovers. That's a 3-to-1 ratio, as pretty simple to figure out. But tonight, his team has been so out of sync, he hasn't even been able to run the half-court offense.
Kansas brings in number 10, senior Jeremy Case, the last Roy Williams recruit.
Aldridge might as well clean up the floor. He's done everything else out here properly.
Yeah. You saw Case. He came to Kansas in the fall after their Final Four run of 2003, where they lost to Syracuse and Carmelo Anthony in the championship. Case came to Kansas just a few months later, recruited by Roy Williams.
Well, Quentin Thomas into the ball game, and the only holdover, as you mentioned, for that 05 national championship team. This game is not quite going like that 05 run did. Good back screen that time by Aldridge.
Collins wanting to challenge Thomas. Now Hansbrough tried to pass it back to Aldridge. Taken by Ellington. Floater goes and one.
And Jim, if North Carolina has a chance, and this is going to take an awful lot of energy, it will be doing just that. Push the ball up the court and just try to turn this into a 110-point game. But that takes a lot of energy as far down as they are.
Billy, that's the first basket made by the Heels in 9 minutes and 3 seconds.
Well, I'll credit it somewhat to the fact that they didn't get in their offense at all, but I'll give more credit to Kansas and terrific half-court defense with tremendous weak side help.
Ellington makes it a 3-point trip.
Kansas walks it up for the first time. They really have North Carolina spread out.
Carolina.
Nice move by Kansas. Spread North Carolina out, make them really work on defense and take away any energy they have.
Collins and the rebound, Hansbrough. Almost had it tipped away.
Nice crossover by Ellington.
Blocked by Aldridge. Hansbrough dunks it down.
And again, this is what North Carolina may have to do. Just push that ball up the court, stay out of their half-court sets at all, and just force the action.
The last 7 points to North Carolina. Rush Floater.
Charge, and there it is again. He is not going to block the shots. And then he and his father and Larry Brown took off to Kansas, and the rest was history. Still their all-time leading scorer with 2,951 points and leading rebounder.
Now an assistant on Bill Self's squad.
That's the kind of shot Ellington has got to make. You know, one thing Kansas has gotten away from, and I think that it's something that they better go back to, and that is getting the ball down inside of their big men. There it is.
Arthur pinched, short with the shot. Green.
Beautiful pass, but again to the wrong man.
Bounce pass
Stevenson does not have good hands.
Almost went in. It actually ricocheted off the backboard. Thomas pull-up jumper. That's nothing but short.
Nobody else down. I can't believe Ramsey took that shot. It was 5-on-1, North Carolina's favor. Kansas not taking advantage of this nice lead they've got.
Well, that's 10 unanswered now by North Carolina.
That was not a smart play by Robinson.
From 40 to 12 to 40 to 22. Coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll talk live with John Calipari and Chris Douglas Roberts, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update. It's all coming up with Greg, Clark, Seth, and Billy Donovan on the AT&T at the half. Carolina making a little run.
Making a big run. They've slowed things down, and Kansas has gotten away from that ball going inside to their big people.
Jayhawks have missed their last 5 shots. Aldridge is open. Aldridge misses the dunk.
Had an easy put away. Kansas getting very confident right now.
Green, that would have been huge. Would have brought them within 15. Bounce pass, perfect to Chalmers. Stolen by Robinson. Hansbrough fed it right to him.
And you know, that was Hansbrough to Lawson. 2 experienced players should never let that happen.
That was some bounce pass.
But Jim, you're looking at Collins, Chalmers, and Robinson out there. 3 guys, all that can play the point. So you're going to get some good passing on the break.
Seven on the shot clock. Chalmers with Ellington defending. Chalmers shot.
Had to go left hand. Kansas getting a little sloppy, Jim, with this lead.
Lawson got stuck. This loose ball goes to North Carolina. Thompson, short shot, no.
He doesn't miss many of those. Collins is the one that's got all the energy now.
Back out high, Arthur, 2-point shot.
Wide.
Hansbrough pulls it down. Under a minute to go in the half.
Kansas's decision-making here is really not good. Bill Self has got to, in effect, calm his team down.
Danny Green with another 3. At about a 12-second differential on the clock.
And you know what's interesting, Jim? The Kansas players are tired. That energy that they had at the beginning of the game has worn them down.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they expended so much.
Look at Robinson out here. He's tired. Chalmers over on the other side, bending over, holding his knees. Aldridge doing likewise inside. That has to give some life to North Carolina.
Almost a turnover, and it is. It's Green. Laying it in again. North Carolina trying to work back into this thing.
Oh,
They had it at the 15.
I believe he was over the line.
Chalmers was in the air, but he got it away, I think, in time. And that's not going to go against Hansbrough this time.
Probably only because Collins' quickness. Hansbrough was right there.
Ginyard back on the floor. That's the first on Hansbrough.
Well, Jim, you remember that Maryland-Duke game, and I would say that as opposed to this one, I thought Maryland was still playing solid basketball, and Duke just played great basketball. Right now, Kansas has letting this game get away from them.
I also remember another major switch in momentum was out in Seattle in '89 with Seton Hall and Duke.
Yep.
Complete reversal. Right before the half, the shot's up and it counts. Sharon Collins.
That was a huge basket for Kansas.
Gives him the 17-point bulge.
Say, hey, probably the most important 3 minutes of the season is going to happen right now, because you have to show again that you can regain control of this ball game. They were really tired at the end of the first half.
Oh, there you go. What a perfectly executed play. Backdoor, they go to Chalmers.
You want to go into the locker room and look on the blackboard? That was the play.
North Carolina had one big sizable comeback this year, 14 down at the half against Boston College, but this is Kansas. Now it's 19.
Boy, that was a great set play, wasn't it? Here comes that weak side help again. Hands
Like
for a walk.
No
got
call.
away with it, yeah.
Definitely traveled.
Looked like the referees were looking for the upper body. Kansas let the game get away from them about the last 4 minutes of the first half, taking some bad shots. And
I think they ran out of gas, Billy.
I think you're right. I think they just wore down a little bit and made some mental misjudgments.
Arthur from the outside.
Nice soft shot's been hitting in the first half, but that put him back about 2 or 3 feet further than he'd like to shoot that shot.
And North Carolina is going to turn it right over with a backcourt violation. Here's the in-game box score, powered by CBS College Sports Network, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports. Hansbrough with 10 points, 5 rebounds, but it's Rush. They spread it around. Chalmers with 7.
Jim, you remember a game, I believe we did it together back in '95, and UCLA had Kansas down 41-22.
Yes, I do.
That's the biggest
Pavilion.
Yep,
Here's Ellington.
That was the biggest comeback ever for a Kansas team, and they did it against the UCLA club. And then we had that Arizona comeback against Kansas.
Chalmers just handing it off to Jackson.
Much, much too easy.
How will North Carolina have any way of getting back into this game, Billy?
Well,
what
Jim,
will they have to do?
The way they got it back in the first half was pushing the ball up the floor. There, Hansbrough does a good job seeing the weak side help coming over and made it easy. This is the way North Carolina should have started the ball game.
Deion Thompson with that basket.
Ooh, dangerous
That could have been stolen. Rush on the fly. What a night.
North Carolina's defense still doesn't have a lot of intensity. Kansas getting good looks.
Lawson drives it in and scores. Up and down the floor we go. Here's Chalmers squaring up for a 3. Rush on the follow-up.
That was a perfect pass. Derek Wittenberg, Lorenzo Charles.
Yes.
Bad shot, perfect pass.
Lawson, no, Hansbrough. And one. Hansbrough got hit in the face.
And he lost his contact lens, but he keeps running. There you see Hansbrough. Look at him coming down that middle. Nobody blocking him out. He continually runs. Uses that great speed, straightaway speed that he has to get to the ball.
Sasha Khan back out for Kansas. He played only 2 minutes in that first half, as Aldrich saw 13 minutes of action and led them in rebounds with 6.
He played like an All-American in that first half. Jim, when you think about, we talked about the quick legs and we talked about the intensity. North Carolina in that first half only had 2 assists. They had 10 turnovers. Kansas had 5 blocks and 7 steals. You start talking about dominance.
That's versus no blocks and only 2 steals for the Heels. That just, again, supports the theory about every loose ball, the quick feet, the tip out to Jackson.
That was Kahn that got that one.
Rush is going to be against Carolina.
That was a good job by Rush. He was going to make himself have a shot. Ellington never got over in front of him.
For Ellington, that's his second.
Rush thought he would go to the line, too, because he almost was able to make that referee call that in the act of shooting. And if you're North Carolina, you cannot get in a trading of basket game here. Boy, there's a quick, cheap foul. Hansbrough trying to go out for a steal.
His second. Billy, you said the first 3 minutes would be so crucial for Kansas, and basically they played Carolina to a standstill out of the locker room.
Give Bill Self a lot of credit setting up that initial possession. The nice backdoor cut, half-court move.
Robinson Has to come back out.
North Carolina working much harder now defensively.
Chalmers, open alley.
Thompson just letting him have the shot. Hansbrough open, Cons behind him. North Carolina didn't let him have the touch.
Thompson's blocked but fouled on Jackson. And it'll be his third. Tuesday on CBS, your favorite stars reveal secret talents never seen before. Don't miss the premiere of Secret Talents of the Stars. It's Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on CBS.
You know, Jim, as Jackson made that foul, I started thinking, when are we going to see Aldridge? And out of the corner of my eye, I saw Bill Self turn, and here comes Aldridge.
Green coming back out for North Carolina, and the man they call Q, Quentin Thomas. Lawson and Ellington to the Carolina bench. Robinson's replaced, as is Jackson.
And if you're Thomas right now, what you've got to do is start distributing the basketball. Try to get everybody involved that's on the floor right now, particularly Hansbrough. Green did his job coming off that bench, making some things happen in the first half.
He's the one that really gave them that 15-4 run to close out the half. Carolina now 9 out of 10 at the line.
North Carolina trying to trap half court, and it cost them.
Rush. Not this time on the open three.
It's the first time North Carolina tried to do that in this ball game, a half court trap. Gave Rush a wide open shot. Normally he'll bury that.
Green, he buries it.
As I said, he's the kind of guy come off the bench and be a star.
Chipping away, it's now 14. They've gotten halfway there. They were down 28 in the first. Kahn on the inside. It's going to go against Kansas, and Kahn's collected his third.
What is really critical now for North Carolina, bringing it back this far down, is to get it to single digits and still play the way that they're playing right now. Is a much calmer game. This is the way we thought they'd play in the beginning of the ball game. I don't know. The team that showed up is one I've never seen play.
Green back of the rim, and it rattles out. Loose ball, and again it's Kansas with Arthur.
And let's see if Kansas will go back and start feeding the ball down inside, where they were so effective early in this ball game.
Hansbrough, that time
Telegraphed.
Yeah, he jumped right in front. He has another steal.
Hansbrough came down the court on that delayed break. Did a good job by Arthur picking him up.
Ginyard in traffic, blocked. Bring it back out. Shot clock's at 15. It's a two-point shot by Green. He's got the hot hand for the Heels.
As I said, Jim, he can be a star off the bench.
Timeout, Kansas.
Bill Self upset with his ball club. It is getting closer.
Jim, what do you see here?
Yeah, the big key there is North Carolina shooting 60% in this second half. Kansas nowhere near the defensive intensity we saw early on when they exploded to that big lead.
Thomas right in the face of Collins. Green comes over to double team. They've got him pinned, and a tie-up, and the arrow's going with Carolina.
Jim, again, North Carolina jumping to their half-court trap. Second time it's been used effectively here in the second half. And the key at the 14 mark, you want to get this thing down below double digits before the 10-minute mark without pushing. Robinson, a good defender, but Green's pretty strong.
Hansbrough thought about launching it. That's Ellington. Two-point shot, and it's down to 10.
Well, I said before the 10-minute mark, it looks like they're going to get there even before that. And you can see that this Kansas team right now is starting to worry. North Carolina dropping back.
Rush way short, but it comes back to him. Gets it out on the floor, Carolina.
Now North Carolina's getting the loose balls, unlike the first half.
Oh, would this be big? Ellington.
Pretty good block out that time. Stevenson not able to get to the ball.
Had a chance to trim it to 7. Robinson kicks it back over Rush. Short with his last two.
And again, North Carolina getting the loose balls. No place for Thomas to go.
But Collins spins away after making the steal. Driving in. Rejected by Green. And a charge call on Kansas and Collins.
Jim, have you ever seen a team that played so well, making so many mental mistakes as Kansas is right now? That is a 1 against 4 by Collins. No place to go. Bill Self talking to him right now on the other side. They are not giving any credence whatsoever of how important possession of the ball is.
You said Carolina must get it into single digits. Here's their chance. We still have 13 minutes to go in the game.
And Lawson back in the game fresh now. Robinson, Green, this is a nice matchup here.
Green snaps it over. Thompson. Quick hands, almost a theft by Robinson. Green, blocked. Ellington, no, it's Arthur who gets it over to Rush. Robinson from the wing. Green taps it out. They got a 3-on-2. He's going to challenge Arthur, and it's a charge call against Danny Green.
Both teams not making good judgments when they've got an advantage on the break.
Second foul on Green. They've had a couple of chances down the floor.
Absolutely. There's no place to go right there if you're Danny Green. It was the same as Collins on the other end of the floor. Mental mistakes.
Green out, Ginyard in.
You see Rush down in the corner practicing his jump shot, Jim, without a ball in his hand, knowing that he wasn't shooting with a nice aggressive stroke the last 2 jumpers.
Kansas has missed its last 7 attempts from 3. They're starting to look very tight. Stolen. Ellington spinning away. Ellington fade away, under 10.
Good pull-up. Bill Self is going to ask for a timeout. His team now is as out of sync as North Carolina was in the first half.
Looks like panic is setting in.
When's the last time we saw them go high-low and get the ball down in the low post as they started the game so effectively? Everything has been ball on the floor, jump shots.
No basket made in 4.5 minutes. Ellington on the chase. He has the steal. He has Lawson. Blocked by Rush. Hansbrough up and in and one.
Well, we've seen some comebacks, Jim, but I'll have to be honest, I have never seen anything like this.
There's his father. This would be the mother of all comebacks.
Well, and the reason is because of the way the teams dominated in the first half, like Kansas. North Carolina had no legs. They got to no loose balls, and now it's just the opposite here in the second half.
Hansbrough can bring it to 5. Oh, and a rare miss.
Again, if you're Kansas, I think you got to go to the high-low game again and get your big guys involved in the offense.
A 12-0 run by the Tar Heels. That's going against Lawson. His first. We're going to have a break, the under 12 break. Kansas inbounding with 11:39 remaining.
And Jim, they've gotten completely away from doing anything with their big men offensively. Everything's been the high screen and roll.
Blank for over 5 minutes. Over the top. Here's the play you were calling for. And the travel against Arthur.
That's a good idea, but not well executed. The Kansas players are starting to look like they're really concerned. There's not that smile on the face. There's not that look of determination.
Tight.
Yep.
Is the word. 8 turnovers in this half alone for Kansas in 8.5 minutes.
And look at the set now that North Carolina is being able to operate just the way they want to.
Backdoor, Chalmers slipped and Ellington took advantage.
This is North Carolina basketball we're seeing now, not the team we saw at the beginning.
Ellington, if he didn't block it so forcefully, he could have tapped it over to Lawson. It'll be Kansas ball.
And what we see similar to what happened in the first game tonight, like UCLA trying to go 1-on-1 with every play. North Carolina, on the other hand, gotten back to their half-court offense.
Well, North Carolina has scored the last 14 in this game.
That could be picked off. Roy Williams doing a nice job going from his man-to-man to those half-court traps.
Who will step up for Kansas and get him out of this? Will it be Jackson? Jumper, no. Tipped up, Rush. Squeezes it in.
He hadn't been able to make the jump shot, so does a good job rebounding. As a freshman, first freshman ever in Kansas history to lead him in scoring and rebounding. Showed you his rebounding potential right there.
Breaks a 6-minute drought. Lawson wildly lost control of it going up, and it's Rush again.
Probably should have picked up and taken a little jump shot inside.
Kansas trying to regain his composure.
But they are looking inside more now, Jim.
Over the top, Jackson's right there.
There it is.
From 4 to 8. Ellington guns it. Chases it down. Great hustle to save it for Carolina. Under 10 minutes to play. Lawson lobs it up. No. Hansbrough tip. Arthur clear. Kansas now with a little flurry.
They didn't have numbers and wisely pull it back out. Let's see if they go back into the inside again. Kahn would have come in, who hasn't been effective here in this ball game.
Taken out early with a couple of fouls. Chalmers, he wants it, fires it, no.
Ooh, that was some rebound.
Boy, he took out Jackson. Ellington on the wing. This is his shot. He hits it.
Terrific pull-up by Ellington. Isn't it amazing how much more positive the North Carolina players look right now than the Kansas players? I've never been involved with a game that turned this rapidly and emotionally looking at the faces of the players. Kansas smiling in that first half, confident, quick. Just the opposite in the second.
Yeah, concern written all over him now. Collins with 4 on the shot clock. Arthur with 1 on the shot clock. Not going to get it away. You can watch exclusive video of Amen Corner Live, plus all the action at the 15th and 16th holes live. It's all coming up next week. Bonus coverage of the entire field with Masters Extra. CBSSports.com/MastersLive and Masters.org.
Jim, in that first half, you had North Carolina with 2 assists and 10 turnovers. The second half, you have Kansas with 9 turnovers.
Rush and Hansbrough are sitting down as we approach that under 8-minute timeout.
Danny Green's back in, so he's a key. Robinson guarding him, and there's a reach.
Chalmers, as Graves has come in here for North Carolina. Chalmers, that's number 3.
You have to like the situation. Chalmers on Graves, he's much quicker.
The hands of Robinson trying to stir something up. Almost does.
Stevenson is shaky ball handler.
This is a tougher lineup to find points for North Carolina.
Yes, it is. Danny Green's got to be the answer. Here he is.
This could get it to 2, and it rattles out.
There was a case, if Graves leaves it alone, Stevenson has a layup.
No, with no challenge at all. Well, that one circled the rim, though, didn't it? The green 3.
It sure did. But right now, North Carolina has a funny lineup on the floor offensively. They've only got 1 score.
Graves quickly on the spot defensively. Now Kahn, blocked. Follow up, no, but a foul. Aldridge will be shooting 2 out of the timeout. The National Player of the Year, Tyler Hansbrough, trying to lead North Carolina all the way back. Have they expended too much energy to get back into this thing? Will they have anything left at the end?
Jim, you know, I don't think they have expended too much energy. I think that they have just played solid defense and they've moved the ball better offensively. It's been Kansas mentally not looking to put up the shots they did in the first half. And what really cost them is when they had the working margin at the end of the first half and took some bad shots. So they actually played into North Carolina's hands.
Cole Aldridge hit 2 free throws in the first half. Actually was given a mulligan after someone, Carolina, and a lane violation. Now 3 for 3. The freshman stepping up so big here tonight.
Well, in the first half, 6.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal.
4 blocks now.
Yep. Funny looking free throw, but he hits both of them.
And Arthur's going to replace him.
Now with Ellington in the game, Green in the game, Hansbrough, North Carolina's got 3 ways to attack offensively. One of those 3 should take this next shot.
Here it is to Hansbrough.
He's double teamed though.
Tough shot.
Yeah, too tough a shot. He pushed off too.
It's going to be his 3rd.
He was too anxious to take that one. Good defense that time to double down. Sasha Khan and Arthur did a real good job.
That little Hansbrough flick of a shot that you so often talk about. It has been really challenged today as much as we've seen. Kansas staying right with him.
Well, he does a lot of good things, but that was not a good shot he took there.
On the shot clock. Kansas looking for a little comfort. Lob it. Khan delivers. Oh, what a Kansas moment.
Boy, they read that beautifully. Khan set the screen. Collins knew he was going to roll to the basket.
Back up to 9. Ellington fades away.
He loves that stuff.
Follow up. Green hits the floor, no call, but gets the basket.
The star off the bench is Danny Green.
Collins got free, and Green slaps it out of bounds. Sasha Khan from Tomsk, Russia. Didn't play basketball until the 10th grade. He came over to the States just to get an education.
Hey, Jim, Green has blocked 36 shots on the year, and Hansbrough has blocked 13. So you wonder which guy got a piece of that ball?
It was Green. Now Kansas again fighting a shot clock. 6:20 to go in the game. Dish, Khan. He delivers twice now. Once on a dunk, once on a little flip bank shot as the shot clock was running down.
And he was 6 for 6, 13 and 6 in that big game and win over Davidson. So he's picking up right where he left off.
Whistle on Arthur this week on The Late Show. Dave's got Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell, and Steve Martin. And on Monday, catch Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone only on CBS. That was actually on Collins, and that was his 3rd foul. Thompson with one more coming.
Well, North Carolina shoots 75% as a team, but right here on the line, Deon Thompson's only a 58% free throw shooter. Looked pretty good on that last one.
Yes, he did. Perfect form and all net. Again, delivers.
See if North Carolina tries to go to their half-court trap here. It was effective for them as a little change of pace. There it comes.
Rush on the wing, 3 long. Lawson.
And Rush still trying to find his jump shot. He had it in the first half and has lost it now.
It's disappeared. Hansbrough passes up the open baseline. What a tough shot. Back down to 5.
Threw that from behind his head.
It did.
Collins thinking about that lob again, maybe?
3-pointer instead. Sharon Collins hit the shot before the end of the first half. It's a big 3 on that one.
But both of these teams have a guy coming off the bench who can star. Sharon Collins and Danny Green.
Ellington, another wild shot. He threw that one up from his hip.
Well, give North Carolina a lot of credit in this particular case. They did not throw in the towel. I thought this game was over long ago in the first half.
Rush. Beautiful move.
Thompson not helping out defensively. Ellington will take that jumper.
Going back to Kansas. A quick trip for Carolina that time.
Too easy getting that ball inside. No weak side defensive help by North Carolina inside. You see who stays on the floor. Collins stays out there, Jim. It's a tough matchup.
Carolina going to pick up full court.
Not a bad idea. Now, if they're going to do that half-court trap, you look on the floor, Rush is the guy that's probably going to have the open jumper down in the corner. He's got to be ready to take it. Here's Ginyard looking around, but he's not going to trap because Rush took him down on the baseline. Here comes the trap. There's the jump shot.
Rush lobs it instead to Jackson. Lob City for Kansas.
You knew the trap was coming. Rush did the right thing.
Ginyard with a three.
Not a good three-point shooter.
Collins outmuscles everyone for that one. Jayhawks back up to 10.
Now in a position to use some clock.
Pick it corner. Rush rattles out. Tipped out Kansas.
Is Collins getting every loose ball now?
For the last minute he has. Jackson.
Roy Williams needs a timeout here. His team's letting it get away from him. He's still got time, but he can't let this game keep rolling on. Jackson with 10-8 in this half. They call on Danny Green and Thomas to come on the next whistle. Hansbrough shot, tough one. Well defended, back to Hansbrough. Travel, back to Kansas. Great help from all players there on Hansbrough. Kansas has opened it back up on a 6-0 run, back up 12. North Carolina have whittled it down to 4 after being 28 down in the first half. Kansas responding. They're on a 19-11 stretch, including the last 6. And Jim, what brought him back is going inside again and getting away from that strictly perimeter game. Got a 3-on-2. Collins pull-up jumper. Tipped around into the hands of Thompson. Ellington down on the side. Rush sees him over there. Green, Ellington, Hansbrough got to take the shots the rest of the way. Here's Ellington. 3 is off the mark. Carolina's gone cold. Nice pull up by Chalmers here. Going to force North Carolina to play some half-court defense. North Carolina only 4 out of 19 from behind the line. Rush. Could be a big call here, but I think it's going to be a block on the inside by Thompson. 2 shots coming. Jim, you talk about this Kansas club and the balance that they have tonight's a good example of it. 8 players have scored there. On the year, this team has had 7 different guys have been leading scorers, 7 different guys have been the leading rebounders, 5 different guys have been the leading assist man in the game, and 6 have scored 20 points or more in a game. That is terrific balance and hard to defend. They probably would have had a 9th scorer in the act if Roderick Stewart hadn't fractured his knee. There he is. What a sad story that was for that young man, a senior, just out here in the shoot-around yesterday before a large throng in the stands, the open practice. He's going to have surgery when they get back to Lawrence. Didn't want to have it here. That's a Carolina turnover. He wanted to stay here and cheer on his teammates. What I'm wondering is why is Lawson not in the ball game now to penetrate and do some kicking out? Fractured a knee just going up for a dunk at the end of the shoot-around. It was an agony out here on the floor. Just last week, Rick Barnes was telling us in Houston he won't let his team do that in these shoot-arounds because so many balls are rolling around on the floor, so many distractions. Could be an injury, and that's what happened. Rush! Oh, yes, on the other side. Rush having a big night. Now that North Carolina's taking the chances defensively, Kansas doing a great job recognizing what's going on. Kansas starting to pull away. 9-0 run. Collins so strong, and when he dribbles low to the ground like that, very difficult to get to him. Here is Lawson going to be coming back in the ball game with Ginyard. Kind of an interesting 3 different games we had here, Jim.
Absolutely. This is game 3. This is Act 3 right here.
This game 3, all Kansas. Just when North Carolina looked like they could pull off one of the most miraculous comebacks we've ever seen.
You never had a doubt Kansas was going to win this game, did you?
You know, I didn't. When the game started, and I said this game was over early because you never saw any indication North Carolina was going to get their act together, and they really didn't. As much as Kansas got sloppy there at about the 6-minute mark in that first half, got a little overconfident.
You declared it at 7:32 to go first half.
Is that what it said?
It shocked me.
Well, you say what you see.
No, that's why I love you. Now one more for Collins. Got them both. Larry Brown, what ties he has to these two programs, and he's encouraging North Carolina.
Yes, he's encouraging North Carolina to move forward. I think what he probably wanted to see was a good game by either team.
No for Hansbrough. Into the arms of Collins.
Collins has gotten so many loose balls, key rebounds in traffic, and now with the ball in his hands, he's tough to stop.
That was a fascinating cutaway, wasn't it? The man who won a championship for Kansas back in '88 in his rush. Has two more.
Well, where did he go to college, though?
I know his roots and his bloodlines with North Carolina run so deep. Roy Williams, who took over just a few months after that championship.
And you know what's really interesting, talking about Larry Brown, he's one of three guys to take two different teams to the championship game. Larry Brown did it with UCLA and Kansas. Roy Williams did it with Kansas and UNC. And then Frank McGuire did it with St. John's in North Carolina. McGuire winning a championship in '57, Brown winning his championship at Kansas, and Roy Williams winning a championship at North Carolina. Kind of interesting. Three guys all with ties to Chapel Hill.
Darnell Jackson coming back in. Again, Carolina somehow was able to bring it from 28 to 4. That free throw by Lawson just ended a 13-0 Kansas spree. Did they just run out of gas here after the big comeback, or what?
Well, in our third,
what it looked like.
In our third period, Kansas wins.
Be interesting to see with Memphis and the way they have dominated the star guards of the opponent here in the tournament, whether it was Neitzel or Augustine, or in this case tonight Collison, how the Chalmers, Collins, Robinson trio and Brandon Rush, how they can do against Memphis on Monday night.
Well, probably a little better matchup size-wise than what they faced both in the UCLA situation and in the Texas situation and in the Michigan State situation.
Plus, you got the matchup of Dorsey and Dozier against the likes of Arthur and Jackson and Sasha Khan.
And Aldridge.
Should be a terrific matchup.
It should be. You've got the four big men that rotate. You've got the rotation of with Taggart coming into the ball game for Memphis as well. Should be quite a matchup. And I got to give Bill Self a lot of credit too for pulling his team back when things were getting away from him and going back to getting the ball inside, utilizing his big men on lobs and hitting down inside to make North Carolina play honestly. 5 times to a regional final, never to a Final Four. Now he finds himself in the championship game.
Collins is the one with the ball in his hands. So many times that's been the case tonight.
Absolutely, particularly in this third period, as we're calling it. They will have to give that ball up.
Kansas able to answer the huge challenge after they'd seen almost all of it given up. That big lead. Robinson on the inside.
Boy, any gamble whatsoever by North Carolina goes right to a layup for Kansas.
Danny Green. Ellington. Back out Lawson. Final 20 seconds. He's got a 3.
That's about the first jump shot I remember him taking all night.
Timeout called by North Carolina. To think Bill Self had won one game in this building before, Billy. He had won here at the Alamo Dome. He beat Kansas of all teams when he was the coach at Illinois in a Sweet 16 game. And now he's going to take Kansas in this building to the championship game on Monday night.
Of course, we remember Kansas getting to a national championship final with Syracuse not too long ago.
You know, we're going to have 2 coaches on Monday night who really got their break in coaching as just really being like a Gopher assistant coach, a volunteer assistant in Lawrence, Kansas.
With Larry Brown?
With Larry Brown.
How about that? And still are close with him to this day.
In Perry's case, he really started with Owens at first, but ended up there with Larry Brown.
Bill Self said he just showed up for work. Said, you promised to hire me. I haven't heard from you since, so I'm here to work. Had a pretty fair career, hasn't he?
I'm telling you, and it can get even better. Monday night, Kansas and Memphis will duel for the title. The Jayhawks withstand the storm and take it to the Tar Heels, 84-66. They had an 18-0 run in the first half, a 13-0 run in the second, in the late going.